Hey YouTube, this is your Yahoo Weeps making this video because I have questions about abortion. So if you think abortion is something that should be allowed, I would really appreciate it if you could answer some of these questions. Okay, of your family and friends, who would you most like to have been aborted if you had to choose? If you had to pick somebody from your family and friends, who would you say you would most wish that they would have been aborted? Do you think more or less baby girls should be aborted, or are you happy with the number of baby girls currently being aborted? Do you support a woman's right to choose to get pregnant or not? Should she be able to have that choice if she gets pregnant or not? Do you support all females' right to choose what to do with their bodies, regardless of age or state of development? So if they're females, should they have the right to decide what they want to have done with their bodies? Do you support aborting black babies? Do you support someone donating to Planned Parenthood specifically to abort more black babies? That's the whole reason they want to donate to Planned Parenthood, to abort more black babies. Do you support, how much money does Planned Parenthood make from abortions? How much money do you think that they make? And how much money do they get from the government or from taxes or from people? Because, if they're getting it from taxes, that's from the citizens. So if they're getting the money voluntarily or not. So if they're getting it from taxes, it's not voluntary. So how much money do you think they get from that? And would you support people becoming abortionists to abort black baby girls if they specifically wanted to abort baby girls, not black baby girls, well, or black baby girls, but say someone wanted to become an abortionist, an abortion doctor, to abort baby girls. That's the whole reason they were doing it. Or if they wanted to abort black babies, that's the whole reason. Or if they wanted to abort gay babies, if the babies are going to be born gay and they can find out which ones are going to be born gay, they want to become an abortion doctor so that they can abort babies that would be born gay. Or say if they're Muslim babies to Muslim parents, so they become an abortion doctor specifically so that they can abort babies born to Muslim parents. Of course, the people choose to, but that's what they're going for. That's the reason they became an abortion doctor, so that they can abort Muslim babies. Do you support women choosing to abort their baby if they find out that it's gay? So if a woman finds out that the baby's going to be gay, then they want to abort it. Do you support that? What does the Latin word fetus mean in English? Do you know the translation of what the Latin word fetus means in English? And I can get back to that later. Would you have sex with a man that would abandon you and your baby if he got you pregnant and you gave birth to your baby? So the man's gonna abandon you if you decide to have the baby and you get pregnant. Would you have sex with that man? What do you think should be done with the body parts of a baby that's been aborted? And I'm just saying baby. I mean, if you want to say the word fetus, it's fine. Or I'll say the word fetus. What do you think should be done with the body parts of a fetus that's been aborted? If the woman or doctor wanted to keep an arm or a head or finger or skull, should there be a price for the body part? Should the woman be paid for her baby's body parts? Should the doctor, if the doctor wants to keep any of the body parts, or the hospital, or abortion clinic, I should say, should the woman get paid because it's coming out of her body? So those are body parts that are coming out of her body. Should she get paid for those? Do you think that women who have an abortion should have the option of keeping the baby's body parts since they came from inside her body? Shouldn't the abortionist doctor be required to ask her if she would like to? So if a woman's going to have an abortion, shouldn't the doctor be required by law to ask her if she'd like to keep any of the body parts? Or say if the fetus is not developed enough to have body parts yet, if she would just like to keep the tissue that was inside of her, shouldn't that be required by law for the abortionist to ask her that? because it's coming from inside her body. So she should have the right to do with it what she chooses, and she should be made aware that if they're going to dispose of it or what's going to happen to what was inside her body, if there's arms and a head or legs or anything like that, whatever body parts. If the doctor's like, I'd really like to keep the heart of the fetus, should the doctor just be able to do that, or be required to ask her and then pay for the body parts that are coming from inside her body? Do you think that women who have an abortion should have the... Oh, I already asked that. Sorry. At what age of development does a fetus or baby feel pain? Do you have any idea what the answer to that question is? What should be the maximum wait time for a doctor and woman to decide whether or not to exterminate a just-born baby? Because I know there's at least one state where they're talking about the woman can give birth to the baby, and then the doctor and her can decide together what should be done with the just born baby, whether she should wants to keep the baby or let the baby die or what. And so what should be the maximum wait time for her to make the decision? Should it be 5 minutes? I mean, that seems kind of rushed. 10 minutes? Half an hour? An hour? Overnight? Should she be able to sleep on it? I mean, it might be an important decision. A day? A week? A month? A year? 10 years? 20 years? 50 years? Should there be a time limit on how long she has to decide? Or is it just kind of, when she feels comfortable making the decision, and how long could that wait time be? So, I mean, because think about it, if a woman has a baby that she doesn't want, but she doesn't realize it until, like, say, 20 years later, shouldn't she be able to have the abortion still? Wouldn't that make sense? And what happens, I'd really like to know, what happens to a fetus that comes out of a woman naturally? So the woman has a fetus. What happens to that fetus? And do you think more babies with disabilities should be aborted, or the expectant mothers be encouraged to abort them? I mean, because they're not going to have as good a quality of life. They're going to have disabilities. So shouldn't that be encouraged? Or should it be encouraged? And should the expectant mothers be encouraged to abort them? Which ethnicity would you most like to have more abortions if you had to choose? So if you had to choose one ethnicity that should have more abortions, which one would you choose? Which one do you think would it be best to have more abortions? So if you could answer any of these questions, that would be great. If anybody would want to use these questions to ask anyone else, that it might be helpful to be able to understand someone that is pro-abortion, help them understand how they think. Just help the person understand how pro-abortion, pro-choice people think, and what it means to them. That would be great. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I hope you have a very good day or night or whenever you watch this, and much peace to you. Thanks. Bye-bye.